a month. Still quite a lot though, isn't it? Still quite a lot. And our water's really expensive as well. I think we pay about £90 a month for the water.
Matty Biglesia says, how the F have you managed that cheap DJ? Jerry Page says that is disgusting at Matty Biglesia. We just stay cold and basically wear 5 layers including scarves and hats inside. It's shite but we can't afford to pay those kind of bills /
do you know what, Matt, right? We live in a brand new house and it's insulated like to... the government say that any houses built need to be insulated to a level, and they base that level... They base that level on a house in Scotland, being perhaps the coldest part of the UK. So where I live, right in the south of England, we very rarely get temperatures probably even as cold as Scotland. So I know that our heating comes on. I said it to come on I think it comes on about 4:30, so that by 5 o'clock and when people start getting in from college and work, that the house has got like a little bit of heat in. But I'll tell you what, the radiators probably come on for about an hour, and then that is it for the rest of the night. They don't come on for the rest of the night because the house is just so insulated that it just like... Do you know what? I sleep with the windows open all winter. The house is that fucking warm that if I didn't sleep with the window open, I'd just be sweating all night.
Jerry Page says that is mad.
And I think with all the insulation as well, is it does help actually in the summer keep it a little bit cooler as well. So it is in a way a nice house to live in. Because all the other houses that I've ever lived in, you know, they're drafty, they're cold, they're really quite horrible to live in. Whereas this house is like a hot box. When I say hot box, I really do mean hot.
Matty Biglesia says, yeah, my bedroom window vents open. I love sleeping in the cold.
You see, all my life I've been sleeping literally in the cold. When I was growing up, my mum and dad did a loft conversion. Back in, I suppose, the 80s, 90s when they did it, they didn't have all the kind of the insulation restrictions or protocols that we have now. So I think literally the rooms in the loft are just literally built out of wood. No insulation in the walls or anything, and no insulation in the roof, I don't think. So every morning as I was growing up in the winter, it really was so fucking cold. It was unbelievable. And then when I left home, I went to college, and my first job was on a farm, and I lived in a caravan. Well, it wasn't really a caravan, it was like a little mobile home. And I'll tell you what, we don't get, I don't think, cold winters anymore. But I remember definitely a lot of mornings during the winter, I'd wake up, seriously, I'd wake up...
69 says, wish my place was that warm, have to keep the heating on nearly all the time.
It's well worth, if you can, getting a new build house, because they are really well insulated. But yeah, I used to get up in the caravan in the middle of winter, and I'd wear tracksuit bottoms, socks, t-shirt, even a jumper sometimes, it was that cold, to bed. And I'd get up in the morning and go for a wee, and the toilet water was always frozen. That's how cold it was in my caravan. So, you know, I don't mind, or actually I think I prefer sleeping in a cool or a cold sort of place. But now I live in this super warm house. Oh, it is just too warm, Cherry. It really is like... it's like living in Jamaica. Oh, so yeah, no, there is something about living in a new house, I suppose, the insulation. But I do much prefer, I think I'd prefer to live in a house like yours, Cherry, where, you know, you've got like stone walls, probably stone floors, and it's got a little bit of character to it. Definitely a little bit of character. Whereas all the new builds, they don't really seem to be, they don't have that kind of, what would you call it, romanticness about them. You know, I think an old farmhouse or, you know, an old house.
It wouldn't be like this if we owned it. It's only because it is a rental that it is in such bad shape.
Oh, okay. Who do you live with then? Do you live with your boyfriend or husband?
Doesn't give a shit, so it is falling apart.
Okay. It's a shame you can't buy it off the landlord. It's a shame there's not like a law or something.
If I owned it, I would do so much work to it.
Yeah. No, I think that, you know, I've lived in lots of rented houses over the time.
Says same here at Cherry Page.
And, you know, there's a lot of houses that I've lived in, and I thought, oh, if only I owned this, I could do this and I could do that. But, yeah, I think landlords, at the end of the day, they don't particularly care so much. Because as long as they're getting their £1,000 a month, or however much they're getting...
Cherry Page says, I live with my partner, I feel too LD to say boyfriend anymore, haha.
Yeah, when does boyfriend become partner and girlfriend become partner? Yeah, and that's a shame that you and your boyfriend can't kind of do it up and make it into like a really nice, like, country property or whatever. But, yeah, it's just the way it goes. Hopefully one day you'll get a, you'll be able to buy a house of your own.
Cherry Page says that is the dream for the end of this year to buy 3. Cherry Page says fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, I think you'll do it, Cherry. I think if you're determined enough, there's always a way.
Mr. Frilly says angry cloud ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at those black clouds. I was thinking, oh, they look a bit... they either look very rainy, and I think that's all we ever get down here, Mr. Frilly, is rain, or there could be a bit of a touch of snow or sleet in the air, but I don't think we've got a forecast for snow or sleet, so yeah, I'll probably say rain. Didn't even look at the forecast.
Says sun is shining on it, so it looks more angry.
Right, let me have a quick check at the weather, and, yeah, now we have got some sunshine here today. Let me have a quick check of the weather, and we can see what we've got lined up for today. What have we got lined up for? Oh, it just says that it's kind of white clouds, a little bit of sunshine. white clouds, and then this evening at 9 o'clock it goes to grey clouds. So it doesn't seem too bad actually, the weather. So I don't know. Those are probably just like they're just probably in the wrong place, those clouds, at the moment.